out, and I know some of my old people, my OGs have been around, know the first time Check and I had a conversation, he was feeling a little spicy that day and called me out my name, and so I can see why they would come in and be like, what the hell? But let's just jump into it. Well, I'm getting ready for work every day. I'm listening to TikTok, and I usually put on somebody's live, and whenever that's done, it goes into the next one. And so the next one was Check. Now, I will be very honest, and I said this in my videos, I only saw 3 to 5 minutes of what was happening. And his son was in trouble in some way. Now, you guys, if you guys follow me, you guys know I do not agree with disciplining kids on social media, in a sense, right? Millie, congratulations, you reached level 2, love. But the child was, from the time that I saw, I'm going to preface this and say this a lot because people in my comments have said, oh, well, you didn't see it. Well, he did this. Well, he did this. And da. During the time that I saw, okay, the child was not on screen at any time. And I don't know what the child was in trouble for, but the child was having to read a book and write sentences. And people were in there like, oh my God, call CPS. How dare you call CPS? No, I want to start with just that. I hear that legitimately every single day so many times on TikTok about legitimately every family. If the people of TikTok had it their way, nobody would have custody of their kids. Like, it's craziness that nobody would have custody of their kids. We have to get out of this situation of parenting participation trophy kids. What do I mean by that? Participation trophy kids are kids that just, they get praised for doing the bare minimum, just showing up. When I was young and I was in sports, if you played like ass, you didn't get a trophy. If you didn't win the game, you didn't get a trophy. When my kids were growing up and they didn't win, they didn't get a trophy. If they had a bad game when they came off, I wasn't like, you just did so good and you played your hardest. No, I'm honest with them. I was real with them. That was a tough day. I'm not quite sure what was going on. Did you not sleep good last night? I let them know, you played like ass. Right? It builds them up for character for later on in life. I would rather be the one to tell them, that was terrible. You did a bad job. So that I'm also there to pick up the pieces when it hits them and they realize it. Then when they get into the real world and they go to work, and they have to do a job, and they go and they do a half-assed job, and now all of a sudden their boss is like, what kind of shit is that? I told you to stock the shelves. It's been 3 hours, and you got 3 cases of Diet Coke on the shelf. What are you doing? And now you're an adult, and you don't have nobody there to help you through that, right? Gentle parenting may work for some people. And Check, I am not saying anything negative about your child. I don't want you to think that at all. The way his child was speaking to his mother, the child deserved to be disciplined. Absolutely. So I'm not understanding why. Again, I did not see the whole thing, so I don't get... Thank you. That is beautiful. Thank you, Mama. Every time Mama sends me something, her or Mama Bear send me something, my heart instantly like skips a beat because it's like, Mama sent you, and I always think it's like from my mom. Anyways, you cannot talk to a parent. Check. Thanks, love. You cannot talk to a parent in your way. And the fact that he even, in my opinion, again, during that time, the fact that he controlled himself, checked in, right? And sat there and said, no, finish your book and your story, when his son wilded out and talked to his mom and screamed at his mom like that. You guys all know, just look up at some of the past TikTok, what are those things called? Like trends or pranks or whatever, where they have the adults talk to the mom and be like, I'm not taking the trash out with the, and the dad's like, charge the kids. So that's funny. That's okay. But now we have a real situation where the son was being defiant. He was telling his mom, no, absolutely not, I'm not doing that. And the child was forced to be there. So someone then comments me and says, oh, so you're just okay with them forcing him to sit there for hours? Yeah. If the child was told to read a book and write, I don't know what the whole thing was. We're just going to say he had to read a book and write a book report about it. That was his punishment, right? Now, the child could have done what he was told when he was told to do it and knocked it out in an hour or two. But if he chose not to do it and to be defiant, he sat there for 8 hours. Whose fault is that? Is that dad's fault? Is that mom's fault? Or is that the child's fault? That's the child's fault, because the child chose to be defiant and sit there and not do it, right? Yes, absolutely. There always needs to be structure between nurturing and discipline. 100% agree. And we'll dive more into that. I'm just talking about just the situation of only what I saw. There was times I would do that when I was a kid, and we would sit there. One time I woke up, my brother was still at the table the next morning. My mom was still sitting right there. And it was way worse. He's going to think about before he does it again. And this is the other thing. And I don't know, again, these are the only pieces I know, right? Is the child was tired because the child didn't go to bed after his parents went to bed. He stayed, oh, hold on, here's Chuck. He can tell us more. He stayed up late, right? And so people are like, well, let him go to bed. Well, what good is that going to do? What would that do if they let him go to bed at 1 p.m.? Now he's going to sleep all day. Hey, Chuck, let me see if I can figure out how to make you...
My thing fucked up. Is my audio messed up?
No, you're good.
I'm in the car. I just left the movies, that's why. Wait, you don't have to make me big bucks yet because I'm not home yet. I can't even come on.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to...
Okay.
This works. But am I right so far kind of on how things went today?
So yes. Dante him going to sleep last night, waking up in a bad mood. They woke me up because he was screaming at his mom at like 8 o'clock in the morning when she was getting him ready for school. That's how it started. But I really want to hear your side. Me and my baby mom both listening while the kids are sleeping in the backseat. So I'm just capturing your synopsis of it because I do want to hear the outsider's perspective. But I will tell you what happened. I just want to hear your perspective on what you've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so to me that makes it worse, right? So they're sleeping, the mom wakes the child up for school in the morning, and the child is screaming at the mom. So we're already in a situation because the child chose not to go to bed timely. Well, we all have consequences for actions, right? We're all adults. Who hasn't stayed up late scrolling here on this TikTok or whatever the case may be and been grumpy and going to work in the morning, right? Or even when we went to school. I think you can change. Okay. We can only do so much as parents. Kids have to learn that there's consequences for your actions. The way that I heard the child speaking to his mother, that's an issue. And he's 10 now, right? So he's at that pre-puberty stage, right? Kids always act a little bit differently when they're going to go through that pre-puberty stage. If they don't get control of his behavior now, however that looks, and every child is different, I'll go into that. But if they don't get a control of it now, what's going to happen when that kid is 13, 14, 15, or 16? It's going to be a huge problem. And then at that point, I feel like Chuck's going to have to step up even more. And you really don't want to be putting hands on your child at that time, because now it's not dad to little boy, it's man-to-man combat, and that's not good either. So they're going to have to pull the reins back. Chuck was very open and honest and said, I know that a lot of this is our fault because we had some issues when he was younger, so he didn't have the structure and the discipline and whatnot then. So we're having to correct it now. So is it going to be tough? Absolutely, and it is. The most important thing right now that they can do, or anybody going through this can do, kids thrive off of structure, discipline, consistency, a schedule, and love, and a lot of positive reinforcement, right? Yes, we have to break them down. Yeah, the routine is that, right, is the schedule, the consistency, all of that is part of routine, right? And every time they do something, they get through it. Like, so for instance, today we're going to pretend like he got his book done and he got all of his writing done. Then there should have been that time where it was just some one-on-one time, or maybe mom and dad and child time of hugging him and loving him and telling him how proud they are. And listen, this isn't easy for me. This isn't what we want, but you have to respect your mom. How would you feel? Because now he's at that age, right, where he's not going to feel good about anybody else talking to his mom like that. How would you feel if I was talking to your mom like that, if I treated your mom that way? Are you saying that this is how you feel that your mom should be treated? Most boys are not gonna like that. They're gonna wanna backpedal that because they don't want no one to talk to them like that. He's doing it though because he feels that he's gonna be able to get what he wants from it. And a lot of times, especially for single moms, it works. We get worn down. We're like, at this point, just fine, do it. I don't care, because we get worn down. We can't do it. You have to stay consistent. So there needs to be a consistent schedule. And if it's that he's staying up because he's on his phone, his tablet, his phone, his PlayStation, whatever the case may be, that shit's going to have to come out of his room. There's a certain time you're done. Have an alarm clock to make sure he's up and his stuff is already laid out the night before, so there's not that hassle. And the other thing too, and I don't know that this how it is in the house, but it's something that I've just seen very recently on TikTok, is yelling at your kids. There's a difference between yelling to your kids, like yelling at your kids. I just confused myself. Your kids are in trouble and you're like, didn't I just tell you that you need to do this? If I'm not going to tell you again, whatever. But then there's people that are on this app that the whole time they talk to their kids, I love you too. Now you need to go to bed. You did a really great fucking job today. Like, everything is yelling. That's how the kids learn how to communicate back. I don't think that's a situation here. I think from the time that I saw, and I'm getting beat up in my DMs and my comments for supporting it, I feel like they did a great job. So that's my opinion on the time that I saw.
So everything you said pretty much is on point. All right. I get that I put myself in really bad predicaments, so I'll just start there by saying I apologize to anyone that has seen me in the wrong predicament. And second off, I should rewind. I'm apologizing to you as well. I no excuse. I say shit out of emotion when I shouldn't say it, and it doesn't matter. I apologize.
Okay. Thank you.
Forward, thank you for having me here to even listen to your side, because this isn't about me. It's about you guys. It's about how you guys perceive things. I received what you said in the DMs and even like what you said out loud about hitting that public button, right? About going live. Mm-hmm. So basically, we were going live for like 4 hours before I even hit the live. So what you thought was pretty much what it was, except for maybe 20, 30 minutes. I'm not sure when exactly, but it seems like you caught everything. When I woke up, he was enraged. Like, he was already angry. He didn't want to go to school. And his main point when I woke up was, I'm mad because mommy put her hands on me. Mm-hmm. I said, excuse me? Your mom doesn't put her hands on nobody. What are you talking about? Oh, she dragged me out of bed. Mm-hmm. And I looked at him. I said, as she should. Were you getting up? Now, at this time, he's already supposed to be out the door. It's like 8:30. We're still arguing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, as she should. Like, why are you even in my face right now? You should be ready to go to school. They just kept going and going and going. The dial kept rotating. And I realized I was going nowhere but downhill with it. It was just going the wrong way. So I said, you know what? Today you're not going to school. You have an attitude problem. I'm not going to have you go to school and disrupt everybody at school today. You're going to stay here. Your daughter, your sister's going to go to school. He's like, are you serious? I said, yeah, we're going to have a talk. So she goes to take him to school, or take her to school, as in my baby mama leaves to take my daughter to school. I sit here trying to talk to him about what he just did. Doesn't care, doesn't acknowledge anything I'm saying. Why are you guys calling CPS or even commenting that when I'm trying to tell y'all what happened? I literally have to look away like I'm lying or something because I can't see the same thing over and over again.
I just blocked them. It just makes absolutely it makes no sense. It's not a thing for CPS to be called. You guys, I want to give him an opportunity to talk. This isn't anything that he brought up because this is something I brought up. I made a video upon it, and then I tagged him in it and he commented. I can tell you guys horror stories about CPS. There's a big difference between making a child do something that they need to do, which is be respectful and go to school. There's a difference between doing that, and I'll show you pictures of some homes of that kids are living in squalor that they can't get to because people are making a bunch of false CPS reports. So I want to stop with all of the negative CPS comments. You guys aren't there. You weren't there the whole time. Let's figure this out and have a conversation. Apologize. Go on now.
So I agree. I wanted to note that CPS is more for kids that are in danger, being not, in danger as in not being nutritioned well, their environment is not of the best. Like, just because the mom gets drunk here and there, they're saying, I'm not trying to stick up for, alcoholism, but just because the mother gets drunk here and there doesn't mean that the kid is being poorly raised. I'm just saying, there's worse things going on in life. All right. Now, moving forward, yes, I sat here and entertained this BS from him way too long, which is what I realized through my day. And how did this go from 8 o'clock to 2:30 and I'm still sitting here trying to knock sense into you? I took your TV, your PlayStation, your computer, your phone, your iPad, your hoverboard. I can't even take anything from you and you're still lashing out. That's where I got frustrated, and I don't know how, and everyone said I did great. I don't know how I didn't freak out on this kid and go, what the F is wrong with you? There was no reasoning, there was no reckoning, there was no nothing. It's wild, and honestly, it is hard. It is difficult. It is frustrating, and I had a moment where I just wanted to, reflect on it publicly and make a point out of it. I didn't use my kid as a monetizable tool, and I don't apologize for it because it's my child. And I handle my child as I see fit. And if I want to go live and people hear our conversation, that's my prerogative. And I stick highly on that as a parent. I did not expose my child in a monetary or poor fashion. I went live to show what can happen. My son just turned 10. And was I prepared for that? Hell no. I've never had my son challenge me like that out of nowhere, and his mom. That was the first time I've ever seen that, especially to that degree.
Yeah.
He wouldn't stand against the wall. I tried every form of formal discipline without strikes. And by the way, in the state of Florida, you can definitely give your son a pow-pow, okay? So relax with all that.
Yeah, you guys, and most states are, and again, look at your own state, right? But most states are. You can discipline your child by a pop, open-handed, as long as it's not in the face and does not leave a mark. That absolutely is acceptable. But read your state rules. I'm not saying that's what I recommend. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you the state rules are. I see that we have a bunch of people requesting, but I'm gonna check the floor.
Okay, so really, people are saying he's mirroring what I do or something. Can we say that you guys say all the time? I know a lot of people here know who I am. You guys say I'm a horrible parent. I'm an absent parent. Well, if I'm so absent and I'm never here, how did he learn this from me? You guys want to blame me for, and I don't mean you, just who it fits. You guys want to blame me for everything. Everything. I could walk into a room full of bad moms that I've never dealt with, and it's Check's fault. No matter what,
Listen,
it's my fault.
you get a pass on that one. We all know that wasn't your fault. We don't know what the hell's happening over
Fucked up.
there.
Yo, that fucked up. Okay, and then I started cloud chasing and went downhill. We get it. Hey, I'll admit mine. But damn, bro. Like, shit. I didn't even get my kick deal like I was supposed to. Stella did the same thing. We fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay? Moving forward, I can't protect nobody. I can't say you can lie on anybody either. I can't say, hey, they're S trafficking. I never see that. You know what I'm saying? All I seen was them being partiers, honestly, doing too much. But back to what I'm saying is, I mess up. I put myself in bad predicaments, and it creates personal judgment without even a chance to even like get to know me. And I get that. I made myself. I lay in it. It's normal common sense. There's no guys. I know that I shouldn't have went live. I didn't have nothing to hide, and I used it as something to learn from myself because I reviewed the live. I reviewed how everyone spoke about it, and also my son was mad as hell at me, and I learned something. I gotta be careful because that kid will lie about anything. He's 10 years old, so it got into my head, and somebody said something that hit me. Man, I do remember when I was a kid saying, I'm going to go to school. If you keep messing with me, I'm going to tell my teacher you hit me.
Absolutely.
That messed me up. I'm like, oh, shit. That was a panel, like a viewer that told me that.
Yeah.
It's a supporter of mine. She said that. I said,
it
like,
happens all the time. And then, in the past, we would have. I've never worked for CPS. People think because I'm a social worker that automatically means that you work for CPS. But our departments were side by side. And sometimes they would, if a kid was constantly doing that and it was a lie, we would bring them in and like have them sit through like a whole processing. Oh, there was nothing fun about it. There was no electronics. There was no nothing that they thought was great. They got put into the clothes that were left behind to teach them a lesson. I tell you what, those kids stopped making up false allegations on their parents.
Someone just said, I blamed my ex for being an ex-user. My baby mom. I didn't blame anyone specifically. I blamed both of them. If you were watching, I said it is our fault.
You did.
From my explosive responses and behavior, if you want to be specific, to her alcoholism. There was a mutual. She even knows what the problem is. We've talked about it. So it's not that I'm over here teaching him how to be violent. I don't even like to curse in front of him for it. Like, I'm like a-hole. That's the worst I'll say like that. But it's to teach him not to if you want to express it here like that. But don't be calling people out their names. Like, don't be calling them B-I-T-C-H. It's a big no, F you, none of that. We don't tolerate that. But out of expression, I'll be like, come on, a-hole. And he'll be like, am I being an a-hole? Like, he gets it not to be a jackass, Like,
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell him is like, yo, do you see what you did this morning? You were being an a-hole, my boy. And that's how we talk. That's son and dad talk. That's us. Who cares? That's how I talk. My bad. I taught my son how to say a-hole. Go ahead.
You know what's funny though? I mean, again, everybody parents different, and I'm not here to tell you I'm parenting. But it's funny that you're getting beat up for that. But there's another creator on here who I absolutely love and adore. Everybody does. He has become very big. He has custody of, I think, 3 or 4 of his kids, and one of them is has some sort of disability that she got when she was just a few months old. Anyway, it's a beautiful family, and he talks like that. He's like, yeah, get the fuck up and get ready for school. And the kid would be like, all right, asshole, see you later. He's like, peace out, piece of shit. And that's their banter, right? But nobody comes at them and is like, oh my God, why would you talk to your kids like that? That's their thing. That's how they do it. And people, sometimes we have to step away. And if the children are fed and they're loved and they have discipline, and again, if you guys haven't had a 10-year-old boy, it gets tough, especially if this is something that seems like it's just random. Those times, I tell ya, those times get tough. The pre-puberty, I didn't go through with my older son, but my youngest son, y'all know Jamal. It's always Jamal, but he went through it bad, and I will tell you, Jamal had to get put in his place many times. You guys probably would have thought back then, oh my God, call somebody else on there. But Jamal had to be let known. Yeah, I may be smaller and I may be your mom. Come at me like that one more time. I will put you. You'll be picking yourself up off the floor. He had to be known. What am I going to do? Just, I don't, damn Jamal. What am I going to do? Just allow him to talk to me like that? Allow him to attack me like that? Allow him to come at me and disrespect me? I'm his mom. Absolutely not. And at the end, guess what would always happen? He would cry and be like, Mom, I'm so sorry. I hold it in all day. I don't know what's wrong. I hold it in all day, and you're the only one that's going to still love me. That's how I knew something was going on, you know? And so sometimes we have to do things a little different. And again, I'm a Gen X. We were fucking around to find out there was no there was no gentle parenting.
I have another point. You just said it. You just said something that triggered me. Not triggered me, but triggered my mind.
Yep.
When my son would refuse to listen to me this morning, he was not trying to get ready. He was not trying to listen to his mom. He was very, if you listened to it, it was screaming bloody and to your mom and everyone around you with no consideration of a police officer coming by and listening to you screaming at the top of your lungs. So I'm like, bro, like, there's no control in the situation. You're punching the walls. I picked him up. I said, you're going to go in a cold shower. I put him in the shower. It's as in the actual incubation device that is called the shower, guys. Without turning on the top spout, I turned on the bottom spout and let him feel what cold water feels like on his feet. Once he realized this is real life and daddy could flick that switch and make it cold for real, he calmed down. Now that's so bad to you guys. My parents used to pick me up and throw me in the cold shower if I was lipping off, or bite some body soap, or bite the actual soap. So it's like,
eating the soap. Oh my God, PTSD.
Where are we going with this? Like, if I would have really done Gen X, my baby would have bit soap for real for disrespecting his mama like that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, yeah.
He said to his mom, "Do you want to fight?"
Yeah,
I said, and I talked to him about it later. Where did you pick up this behavior from? Like, do you want to fight? I don't even say that to people here. So why would you do that?
Yeah, there was a few times when I heard your son say something, and instantly I'm like,
He said,
like I got the
He said to me, he said, Ethan always tells me, do you want to fight? So I don't know, it just came out. I said, who the hell is Ethan?
Yeah.
It's his best friend at school. So I guess he like, whenever he feels challenged or whatever by his friend, he'll be like, do you want to fight? Or his friend says it to him, and they, they don't fight, but they challenge each other, I guess, in sports. I don't know. I know they never fought because I never get a call from school saying his son got him to fight. But that's what he said is, Ethan says it to me. So, okay, cool. So you think it's okay to use it to your mom? No, it's not.
I would probably watch the whole Ethan dynamic, because this is that age, right? 10 to 13 years old. This is that age where kids are going to go left and they're going to go right, right? This is that age where it just takes one wrong friend to go down the wrong path. One person. So I would definitely be talking with Ethan's family, and it could just be banter, it could be fun stuff, but I would dig into that. I really.
That's at school though. It's not like we know the kid, so it's like that's hard to even like.
I'd be up at that school. I'm telling you, hey, if you don't take any advice from me besides this, I would be at that school saying, I want to know about it. I did all the time with my kids. I want to know, who are these people? Where do their parents work? They would give me the information, but I would be at the school and saying, listen, this is what happened with my son. This is what he said, where he got it from. I don't know who Ethan is, but I don't want my son around him until you guys are able to set up a meeting with me and Ethan's parents here at the school, because my kid's getting this from somewhere. So I need to have a chance to speak with Ethan's parents. Or here's my number. Give Ethan's parents my number. Have them call me, because maybe Ethan's saying the same thing about your son. But figure it out, because I'm telling you, it only takes. I've been doing this a long time. I have got a lot of very young kids out of jail by the wrong person. And sometimes they'll find somebody that's weaker, right, in their mind, weaker than them. They get in trouble. Guess who catches the charge? The other kid, the weaker kid. So I would watch that.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know how to begin that, but I don't even go to the school because I don't want anyone to know my relation to them. Does that make sense?
Well, you don't have to have her do it.
No, I know. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
have
saying.
his mom do it.
I just want to be clear as to like why I wouldn't do it because I would let her do it. I usually don't even take him to school because I don't want anyone to know that those kids are related to me. Like if you look at me coming up to that school immediately, it's gonna be like I'd rather than not get picked on. You get what I mean?
Yeah, no, just have mom do it. As long as a parent does it, addresses that situation, especially if he mentions it for anything else, that could be the difference between night and day on saving your kid.
About my kid, I already made the comment about my kid, saying that I hit my kid. My kid said I smacked him on his head, and then he kept going like this. I was like, dude, what? Do you want me to show you what it's like to get smacked for real? That's what y'all are talking about. That wasn't me threatening him. That was me clarifying. I never once smacked you. Come here, I'll show you what it's like to get a pow pows. Guys, in Florida, that is absolutely legal. I can pow pows. I can let my kid's teacher pow pow him. So understand, Florida's way different, I guess, than what y'all are used to, or y'all just raising soft ass kids. I'm just saying. I used to get a belt for talking back. I used to get a paddle. I used to get smacked in my behind. The smacking only went so far. Like I used to get a clothes hanger, a wired clothes hanger. That shit used to sting. All right, I had a problem with not sitting down in school and listening. So what my mom did, welted my butt up with a hanger and said, "Okay, you had a problem sitting down. Now sit down on the welt."
Yeah, teachers can't now, but they used to. They used to. We used to have a paddle in my.
They don't do it in Florida anymore. They used to.
Yeah, we used to have a paddle in our school. The principal, it seemed like she'd be so excited to come paddle us, and our names were on the board. Not only would we get whooped with the paddle, then we'd have to write our name on the board with the date.
That was like I never said I hit my kid. I'm telling you that I know Florida is a state you can do that in. And I said to my kid, I'll give you pow pows just to show you what it feels like to get pow pows. Y'all are acting like I violated my child. Like, what is going on here?
And you guys in reality, so it's Brittany, y'all, said that at her schools she said they still can. You guys, disciplining your child by giving them a spanking, again, check your state rules, your state laws, but typically the law is you can spank your child open-handed, just not in the face, and you cannot leave a mark. That is the majority of state law. There's nothing that says that you cannot discipline your child. This is the whole key, though, I think, where people get confused or mixed up with parenting and discipline. I have 4 kids. They're all adults now, but 4 kids in 6 years, and each one of them had to be disciplined different. Jasmine, the nurse, the one that comes in all the time. Now she's one. She would do something. She'd be like, "I just hit Trey. Do you want to give me a spanking, or do you want me to go to timeout?" Right. So obviously, neither one of those were going to work for her because she was fine, or she would just put herself into timeout. So that didn't work for her. Now Trey, he hated timeout or a little spanking. He didn't like that at all. So that worked for him. Each one of my kids you had to find what method worked for them. So if that's what works for his child, and it's not against the law, it's not like he's going like they did back in the day where we had to go pick our own switches and get a woman with it. He's not saying that. What I don't understand the whole hoo-yah about this. I mean, I could show you guys cases after cases of actual severe, I don't know. We just have to, I think, get out of the thing of telling people how they can and cannot parent and threatening to call CPS from a clip that you're seeing online without seeing the entire situation. Yes,
question. Would you threaten to call CPS if you heard someone say, "You're gonna talk like that? Do you want soap in your mouth?" Is that bad?
I ate soap.
I'm asking you in the crowd. Would it be bad for me to be like, you've been cursing at your mama all morning. Do you want soap in your mouth? Is that bad? Because that's the equivalent to me as saying, do you want me to show you what it's like to get a pop house? Come on here. I'll show you what it's like to get a pop house. I don't see a difference.
Yeah, what they used to always tell us, keep crying, I'll give you something to cry about. Or a hard head makes a soft behind. But the problem is that Mel said, yes, it is bad. I think that the parenting thing is totally different, but it shows by the way that the kids nowadays act. You know, it's very apparent. And again, I work with what they consider.
It's hard because it's like, where do you draw the line of, okay, now I really got to show you that this is real life? Because a cop will take you in and not give a crap what you got to say. It's just like, it's so hard. I realized my kid is entering double digits and he can't get away with what he was just doing. Like, we would let him play his video games. He's just 8 years old, 9 years old, whatever. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Dude, soon you're about to be 13. Soon you're about to be tripping me out about girls. Like, you're around the corner and now you're disrespecting a woman. So it's like, something ain't clicking here. And that's when I stepped in. And what's funny is, I'll say I would never hit that kid because honestly, I don't even feel right even disciplining him. If you really want to be honest. And if you know why. I had a hard time even trying to talk to him this morning. It was actually depressing to me. And when he said what he said to me, I was just like, ow, bitch. Like, what? So I'm your dad when you want everything, but I'm not your dad now. Like, there's a lot, bro, that I went through an emotional roller coaster this morning myself, and I had to just control it. Like, this is just a kid at the end of the day. It's just a kid.
Parenting is hard. Really fast, JV. He's not online. Cloud Check. I invited Check to be here, you guys. Check is here per my request, because anytime I post a video and I am going to talk about somebody or I'm addressing a situation, whatever, I will always tag them. I was not raised as a keyboard warrior where we talk shit behind people's back. Not that I was talking shit about him, but I tagged him. And I also invited him. So he's not over here clout chasing or anything. I'm talking about his situation. Right? So he's here because I requested that he be here. So I want to stop that too. Again, if you guys don't like it, you're absolutely free to scroll past. I am all about having great conversations that are done very respectfully. We don't have to see eye to eye on things. And I know that this is a very touchy situation because a lot of people are absolutely, against any, no spanking, no yelling at your kids, just give your kids what they want and let them do what they want. And then you have other kids that are like, other parents like me that are like, absolutely not. Even my grandkids to this day, they don't talk out of line. They're not disrespectful, absolutely nothing, because they're going to be adults. They're going to be teenagers one day and they're going to be bigger than me and they're going to know that I'm still in control. So I just don't grasp,
Don't mute Retro. I see Retro being funny in the comments. Shut up, stop.
You see what?
He said, Retro, he said, he's a really good guy. He said, can I come up and roast this guy? Something. He's just being funny.
I know. I have a lot of people that want to come up. Are you okay if I was just waiting. I wanted to make sure.
Fine. I'm just not into like getting cornered about I want to say this publicly. Yeah. I'm not getting cornered about Aaron Carter, Lieutenant Dan, or any of that stuff. I'm not here to talk about that. If you want to talk about my parenting or whatever, sure, let's go at it. But like, I'm not here to listen about how I messed up by coming around Bree or how I don't even care about none of that. So please,
no, none of that stuff. Yeah, none of that stuff should come up. This is not what this is about. And again, as I said in my videos, I'm going to say it again. On my page, we can have differences of opinion, but it will always be done respectfully. We're not going to cut people off. We don't yell. We don't curse. Whatever. If you have a different opinion, be like, okay, well, that's not how I would parent my kids, but I would do that. You know what I'm saying? That is okay, and it's okay to ask questions. I'm perfectly fine with that, but again, it's going to be done respectfully, because if not, then we'll have to be removed. Okay? And we're not going to talk about anything else besides parenting. That's it. That's all we're talking about. Okay. So I'll let some people up here.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, love.
First of all, Check, I just want to say you did an amazing job. And this is coming from a 46-year-old woman that was the oldest of 7 kids in her household and was abused every single day. People are saying, why didn't you go off camera? You extorted your kid, yada, yada, yada. I've typed it in for those that missed it, because he was disciplining his child that he has known and that he has raised, and didn't need to go off camera. There are people that are turning off their cameras to go and discipline their child.
Yeah.
Those are the people that we should be worried about. He had nothing to hide in his form of discipline, in my opinion. He handled it well. Sometimes you have to use that more stern voice. I'm a person where I have a very troubled 8-year-old nephew. And when I raise my voice, that kid will cry. I just have that voice. I had to go get him from school 3 times last week because he doesn't have any parents. And he is beating on the security because he goes to a school for children with behavioral issues. He assaulted his teacher, his peers, counselors, therapists, security. But if I walk in, that child is terrified. And I have never put my hands on him, but I hold him accountable. There is consequences.
Yeah.
So Chuck, first of all, man, of course I've been around for a minute. I commend you for having the guts to get up here and defend yourself on such a public platform, knowing what people's perception of you is. Because you doing this, I can tell you one thing, it just changed my perception of you.
Thank you.
So
Thank
thank you for getting up here and putting it out there for other people to see, because a lot of people don't understand and they don't care to take the time to understand why you did what you did.
And that's a
I
good way to
think
get
somehow in the beginning of the entire live, I think I explained that is I'm using this as a learning curve. Like I was literally using that as an example for anybody watching and for myself. I don't know how I was able to say that, but I did. And I only know that because I rewatched my own live. I have to download my own live and watch it so that I can inspect what I did and remember every moment. Because there was times where I did lose control. And that's like, for example, when I was like, you want me to show you what it's like to get Pop House for real? Like, I wasn't even thinking I'm on live anymore. I'm just like, I'm about to show you you're being a liar right now. So I'm going to show you that you're being a liar. Come here, I'm going to show you what it feels like. It's kind of the same aspect as my mom would tell me. Okay, you can't sit down. I'm going to show you what it's like to not be able to sit down. But I wasn't going to actually abuse my kid. I was just going to give him a good smack in the butt and let him know that's what it's like to get smacked if he would have came up to me. But he didn't challenge it. He knew he was wrong.
Yep.
Doesn't
And that's okay. And I'm gonna hop out, so if there's anybody else that wants to get in, but guys, just remember the people he was just associating with are people that weren't being parents at all. He's going home and he's parenting his children. That's commendable. That's something he, put a little respect on his name.
Yeah.
I appreciate
So I appreciate you, Chuck. Thank you very much. I'll let somebody else come up. Love you, Ange.
Thanks, love. Love ya. The other thing too, you guys, I know a lot of people are saying, why was it done online? Mind you, he said this has been going on for hours beforehand. The child was never online because I would have absolutely had a totally different opinion on it. And sometimes, like I said, at this point, he didn't even know what else he could do. Like when a child is just so completely defiant, they're like, I don't care. I'm not doing whatever it is that you say. And the kid was very loud. The kid was just letting him know, absolutely not. I mean, he didn't say that word, but the kid was just, he was very defiant. And I feel like, in a sense, what a great learning lesson. Not only did it, in a sense, protect Chuck, because if the kid is saying that he's going to tell people that he did something that wasn't done, but look, we're now able to, we have over 500 people in here. We're able to have conversations with all differences of opinions. We're able to have great conversations, and maybe new parents coming up that haven't quite hit this, maybe they'll learn something. The whole thing. I think it was a learning lesson. I am 110% against those videos we see when their phone's like, "What'd you do? Tell them what you did. What'd you do? Tell them again," and completely demeaning the children. Absolutely not. He did it off screen. You could hear the child, and he's like, "We've tried this, this, and this. I don't know what else to do. This is where he's at." And then when the kid would get disrespectful with mom, he's like, "Hey, watch yourself," because that's, you see what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that everyone knows that if they didn't see it, it was not a long live at all. So I just want to make sure I put that out there. Okay, I'm going to let a few more people up. I'm going to let you guys talk. I'm going to step off real fast and use the restroom.
I think what people on social media fail to realize is we're all still parents. Well, the way I parent my kids versus the way he parents his kids are completely different, and that's okay. Just because he spanks his kid doesn't mean that it's abuse. People have a very quick turn to say, oh, you hit your kid, it's abuse. No, it's not. Not every time a kid gets spanked, they're abused. How about you worry about the children who don't have food at home, the children who don't have lights at home, the kids that are in boxes outside and are homeless. We're so worried about these content creators who spank their children and are trying to teach them a lesson. Not every single person who tries to discipline their children are abusing them. They're trying to teach them something. Now, should it always be on social media? Probably not. But this is his way of teaching a lesson, and that's okay in his own household. He can parent his kids however he wants. People fail to realize that. I have 3 beautiful kids. I have 3 beautiful daughters who I don't have to do that. They're obviously not at that age yet anyways, but I don't have to. I was a child who was raised by a Gen X. So I know how that lifestyle was. I remember that. And I always did my best to be a very good kid, but kids do need to be disciplined. People fail to realize that too. Children need to be disciplined.
They
need to
thrive on
learn.
it.
Right, they
Sorry.
need to learn.
Also, sorry, hold on really fast. I want Shan, you put up a comment that says, "Wow, you protect children." Who are you referring to me? Who is that question to? Is that to me? Just curious. And while I wait for her to respond, is absolutely what you're saying is that kids thrive on that, right? They thrive on structure, schedules, consistency, meaning that they can't ask 7 times wake up in a bad mood, and then the 8th time there's discipline, and then they go back to 6 or 7 times it being what I'm saying, the same way. It has to be consistent every single time the same way. Okay, go on. I just wanted to I just want to make sure.
I want to thank you for that, because you just taught me something when you said that, by the way.
But also everybody's blaming him because, why didn't you make him go to sleep? I'm sorry, but we've all been children. I used to stay up when my mom told me not. My mom told me to go to bed. All of our kids do it at some point. All children do it. You did it. Everybody did it. So, yes, you can't say hi. Hold on. Okay, hold on. So when children tend to act a certain way, because they didn't sleep. Hold on a minute.
Well, sorry, hold on a second. Okay, so Shan responded. She says, yes, you always talk about everyone else being a mom and working in the system, and this person, I don't know what she said. Shan, so you clearly watch me, since you know what it is that I talk about. Where is protecting children in my position? Again, you're probably one of those ones that swear I work for CPS, because every social worker apparently works for CPS. I do not, have never, would never work for CPS. I work for young adults that are in the justice system. Guess what these kids did not have, which is why they're in jail, they're in prisons, or they're facing time. Guess what they didn't have? Discipline, structure, somebody there to help them. So even though you didn't say CPS, what are you saying that I protect kids? Who am I to protect every child in the world? I wish I had that superpower. So thank you for thinking that I do, because I so wish I had a power to protect absolutely every single child in this world. I don't. My focus right now is on my clients. I make sure that my 50 clients that don't have a home, don't have food, I make sure they are fed, that they have what they need. I make sure they are safe. I can't do that with everybody. And if for some reason that makes me a bad social worker, because I'm saying kudos to Chet for staying in check when his son was wilding, not a lot of dads would have done that. A lot of dads would have reacted a whole different way if you didn't hear the way his son was acting. So again, I'm not sure. I don't know what people think a social worker should just do. They just, are all, all high and mighty at all times. No, no, kids need discipline. They need structure. They need consistency. That's what they need. That's it.
Not abuse.
Not abuse. And I never said that.
I was clearing it up for people that don't understand that there is a difference.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
The difference
So
is
I'm gonna give you an example. If I would have turned that camera and been like, "Do you understand what you learned? Do you understand what you did wrong?" That would be abusive. But me asking him, "Do you see what you're doing?" and no one actually seeing my child is way. I feel like it is a huge, like, this big of a difference. Like, it doesn't even amount. I'm not hitting my kid. I'm not even scolding my kid. I'm barely reacting to what he's doing.
Yeah.
Y'all watched a lot. Like, I'm not.
so I'm just gonna say I watched the whole live first of all, and I will tell you, Check is my brother. Okay. I will tell you also, this child and his sister eat better than I do. Um, they have more toys than my child does. You know what I mean? Like, so they have everything they need, as far as a roof over their head and all that stuff that they need, right?
Yeah.
And what this is him and his baby mama, right, have done this gentle parenting for so long, right? And it's becoming an issue because he thinks he can act out and just get it his way.
Yeah.
You know, he feels like, okay, if I act out enough, they'll just give in to me and let me do exactly what I want to do. You know, and that's the problem nowadays is parents are scared to discipline their children because of the repercussions that could come from it.
Yeah.
Now, kids need structure, period. And you know, the structure can look different in different homes, you know. Like in my home, I'm a single father, right? I have my son full-time custody, right? And I don't have to do too much direction, but there has been times where he's acted out. And whether it's a smack on the butt, whether it's sitting him down and redirecting him, whatever that looks like, whatever discipline looks like to you, it's not for anyone just to say, oh, this is how you should do it, or else this is going to happen to you.
Yep, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's just my outlook.
Very well said. And again, like I said, every child discipline is different for every single child. So it's finding what works for them. And again, it's not even for anybody to say, I simply, like I said, I just happened to see that little bit of a live. And I wanted to give kudos to, you know, from the time that I saw. I think he handled it well. And again, because I saw a part where the child was wilding with his mom, and I know a lot of dads would have handled that situation in a way different way. You guys would have really been screaming CPS. I think he handled it well. And regardless of any differences that Check and I may have had in the past, I'm one that when you do good, I'm going to tell you do good. When you don't do good, I'm going to tell you that too. You know, I'm a
As you should.
unbiased, honest person. I'm just here to whatever advice or information I can put out that can help somebody, then I'm going to do it. And so I just wanted to put that out there. And then it turned into all of this.
Yeah, so think about the flip side to this, right? Now, say he was on live, the child acted out, right? And then he ended his live, and what would people say then? Oh, you know, he got off live just to abuse him or whatever, you know? And people are not happy either which way you do it, you know? And it's unfortunate that, you know, all these pages, these T pages, clip certain things to make it look like something happened. Just because they don't like him for whatever reason, past reasons, whatever.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm gonna tell you, most cops or like, so say if, you know, they called the cops on him, whatever, and they would have showed up, and he, thank God that he has the live, you know, to show like, hey, look, I gave this child so many chances to do right and correct himself with my direction and his mom's direction, and it still was not working.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. And it's very evident, you know, on social media, you're not ever going to make everybody happen. Okay, hold on. Christine.
trying not to interrupt, but I just wanted to say I feel for you because I am like in the same kind of boat you're in. Like I've always been a gentle parent, and my son's almost 13, and like for example, right now he's on the Xbox. I don't know how many times I went in there and told him it's time to get off the Xbox, and I'm sitting here listening, watching this live. But I just need to go and take it out. You know, I've never been I don't spank or anything, and now it's, you know, if I spank them now, they'd be like, whoa, what's wrong with mom? So like,
Yeah.
I feel for you. It's like, there's no manual.
Have
For-
you got like the like gaming rage yet, where like he just doesn't care, like even if you threaten him, or like if you
Oh,
have,
yeah.
or even if you take his remote, he'll like really like. Because I took his remote, and it was like I took a man's whole like pride and joy. Like
Yep.
you would think I stole his girlfriend and you know did the dirty in front of him. Like he literally feels so violated.
Yep.
And
Honestly, I think it's an obsession. Like they get obsessed with these Xboxes and stuff. It's like like any other obsession. Like he's addicted. Like, and it's like, I always tell him when he comes out, I'm like, I want to hang out with you. Like, I want to get to know you. Like, are you? And I just think it comes to a point where you like, you're just gonna have to take it away, and you know the disrespect can't, you know.
Just
happen.
try to cut it to where it's only a certain amount of time. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Monday. I love all the comments because I used to do that with my kids too. Turn the Wi-Fi off. I tell you, if you ever want your kids to do something, turn that Wi-Fi off. They will move faster than absolutely anything. Turn that off. But set it up to where Monday through Friday, you get an hour and a half, whatever it is, right? You get that amount of time, and that's it. No, or you can save that time up, however it is, but come up with a schedule, and that's it. I used to take their controllers. I would take absolutely whatever to make sure. And then on the weekends, they obviously would get more time, but you have to do that. And if you go over that one day, then you don't get it all the next day. It's all about consistency. It is going to be so hard in the beginning. But
Yeah.
trust me, your life, after that first month, the first month you're going to feel like you're legitimately living in hell. After that, you're going to be like, oh my God, I could have been living like this whole time, because it's just a normal thing. My son would just come out when his time was up, hand me the controller. We would watch a movie or go on a hike or go do what it was. It was great. It was great.
Well, and then another thing was the CPS thing. It's just really frustrating because there's so many people that do need that help, and then the thing I don't like is, like, at least where I live, like, you can call in anonymous, so you don't know who's calling on you.
Yeah.
And that's really frustrating because sometimes people do call for the wrong reason, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just sad, the world we live in, but just hang in there. You're not alone.
Agreed.
I appreciate your insight and sharing with me as well with what you have to deal with.
I want to say one more thing, and then I'll go ahead and drop down and let somebody else up here. But let's think about it. If this child has, he's blessed to have both parents in his life, right? Now, when a child don't respect mom and dad, do you think they're going to respect any kind of authority, whether it's cops, whether it's teachers at school? If they're not going to respect their parents, they're not respecting anybody in the world. And once you get to that age, 13,
Retro, I asked him, I said,
13, 14 years old.
Were you there when I
Right.
said,
And-
would you talk to your teacher like this?
Yeah, I was there for that. I was there for the whole life.
He screamed at me dead in my face.
But
Said, yeah. I was like,
yeah, oh yeah, and then he, says them hurtful things and all that, and whether us parents want to admit it or not, but them things hurt, man. Oh, I hate you, I don't like you, whatever, it is a lot for us too, because it's like, boy, you don't even understand if you were put into the system or something, how bad of a life that is, because it's not a good life. I know that.
I just got my
Y'all be easy. I appreciate letting me come up here, and I'll follow and
Before you leave, I want
watch it from down here.
I want to
Thanks.
hit on something. Listen, you said something and I said something, and I just realized that I finally got hit, and Amanda's here, my baby mama. And I just asked her to kids sleep. So don't get on me because I'm about to talk about him that I never even clarified with him. He hit me with, "You're not even my dad." You know, that was my big, people that don't know, like, that's not my biological son. My baby mama cheated on me, conceived, and I didn't want her to obviously just get rid of it in the event that it could be mine. So I accepted the child as my own since day one. He's been with me. He is mine. That is my son. All right. Now, moving forward on that, he literally said to me the most hurtful words that I've been waiting to hear since he was born, which is, "You're not my dad."
Well,
Why I have a hard time disciplining him.
yeah. But to hear that and then to hear how he reacted, like acted with his mom, and you still maintained your composure again is just another amazing thing. Is that s'mores? Thank you so much, love. I want to address. I hate that I have to address this all of the time, but I keep seeing in my comments go by. Courtney, thank you, reach level 2. And I'm going to do this very nicely because I'm assuming some of you guys are new. Check's here because I invited him here because I did a video on him, and I don't keyboard warrior behind the scenes. I am a social worker. I do not work for CPS. I am not licensed. You have to be a licensed social worker to work in a clinical setting. I do not work in a clinical setting, meaning a hospital, a psychiatric area, those type of things. People get so confused and continually tell me what my job title is. You can call me a pooper scooper. I don't care what job title you give me. The fact is, I have 50 people on my caseload that are either facing time or getting out after serving time that count on me for their every need. I provide social service, social worker.
You could work for CPS, but you'd rather do more than just the CPS.
Right. Well, I would never want to work for CPS. I did work for the state for 20 years, but my whole life goal was to work with youth and young adults who were justice involved, who are stuck in this terrible criminal justice system that we have. But for some reason, people just think because they hear CPS and they hear social work and they instantly think CPS, and then they're like, when they dodged and they looked up and they're like, "Oh, she doesn't have a license," which I've said literally since my first video. I don't have a license because I don't work in a clinical setting. I want to work with the population I work in. So I don't need a license to do that. You do not have to have a license to do that. So I just keep seeing it. There's social workers absolutely everywhere. Some of the pro-legal, which is why I don't want to work there. I would never work there. I do not want my name. I would just bring everybody home. I don't want my name associated with what happens over there. I know. And so I get beat up on a regular basis because, like yesterday, somebody commented, CPS workers are underpaid and overworked. I said, I agree. And they said, "Aha, gotcha. We knew you worked for CPS." I'm like, because I said they're underpaid and overworked. They are. They are because they get stupid calls every single day that has nothing to do with CPS. How is me agreeing with something? That's like me saying, someone saying, "Oh, I think NBA players are overpaid."
Cops are underpaid.
And they're like, "Aha, we knew it. You play for them." Like, it just blows my mind.
That's like you saying cops are underpaid, so you must be a cop.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
I just want to say something and then I'll get down.
Yes, ma'am.
sorry.
I just want to say, at the end of the day, I commend you for being a father. Not very men out here will do it. And I commend you and the other men out here who want to be a dad. That is the big thing. And social media, unfortunately, beats up a lot of dads. You know, I don't know if it's past trauma, whatever their issues are, but it is okay to commend a dad for being there. I grew up without one. So it's nice to see dads out here who try. My husband is an amazing dad. Top tier dad in the world. I love him to death for the way that he is with our kids. But I think that people have to realize not every single social media persona is who they are with their kids. We have to realize that they're not always the same people with their children. Yes, he got on live. Yes, he felt he needed to discipline his child in this way, and that's okay for him as a dad to do that. We have to stop beating up people for being parents. It's okay
Right.
for them to teach their kids and to be parents. We can't let our kids walk all over us. That's not how a parent is. I'm sorry. I have amazing kids. They're very respectful. I rarely, in my 10 years of being a mother, have ever had to truly yell at my children. But I give a look, and my kids know, you cut it out.
That's what it
And
was for me too, Nessa. I used to be like that. I hate to cut you off. I got excited. I'm sorry.
He's like, got excited.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But and it's okay to get to that point. Your kids are going to get older. You know what I mean? Kids are going to get older.
When
They're
does
gonna
the
need a
stare
little bit
stop
more.
working? Nessa, when does it stop working? Because my grandpa used to give me that look and I'd be like, oh, I effed up. When does it stop working? Because I thought it worked forever. It doesn't. It just stopped working today. I don't know.
My mom can look at me like that at 32.
I was gonna say, my mom's urn is right there, and I still look over like just to see if she's looking at me sideways. And I'm 51, and her urn is right there. I'm still worried I'm gonna get the look, so it don't stop.
It doesn't. They have their moments. They get a little froggy. And that's expected. We all got froggy when we were little. I never did.
I got a lesson today. What I learned today, I want to show y'all what I learned today, other than not going live during it, is holy shit, my kid is really growing up and he wants to push my buttons to see what he can get away with. Like, that's really what I learned today, to be honest. Like, bottom line, like, I get it, shouldn't win live. But aside from the live part that y'all want to keep saying, you're right about, I learned my kid is pushing all of us. He is defying everybody, not
But
just
even
me.
that, check, you're human. You're human. People forget that. Like, hey, you're human. Things happen. You went on live, okay, whatever. People want to bash you for it. But at the end of the day, you're human. You are still learning every step as you go. None of us are perfect out there. That's what people fail to realize. The parents who truly care about their kids and who are out there and who are trying and who really want to be a parent, who want to teach their kids to be better humans, people bash them for it. And you don't have to. You don't have to bash them for it. It's okay for them to make mistakes. That's what we have to all realize. Just fine. He went on live, whatever. People didn't like it, but at the end of the day, he loves his kids. Who he is outside of being a dad, that's really nobody's business. Social media judges it. Okay, do what you want. But he loves his kids, and every other parent should love their kids. Not every parent does, but you do get the parents who do love them. You don't always have to threaten CPS with every single situation.
So my whole life consists around my kids, whether I'm here or not. I get a lot of, why don't you go back home and take care of your kids? I'm sure your kids miss you. Like, a lot of everything I do is so that my baby mama doesn't have to go work a 9 to 5 and have to give my babies to a babysitter because I have to work a 9 to 5 as well or whatever. Like, there's regular parents, let's put it regular, like normal parents, right? That have to get a babysitter, that don't get to spend time with their child 90% of the day, and all they do is cook dinner, if that, and then they go to sleep, wake up. But, I don't want to have my baby mama have that. I want her to have the biggest, most formal relationship with the kids as possible. Anyone sacrificing time with the kids as well, so that they can have anything they can have while being here. And it sucks for me. Like, don't you think I want to be around my kids? Of course. But if I have to travel, quote unquote, clout chase, put myself in vulnerable positions, like, there's a plethora of things that I have to do, or that I do, or choose to do, that honestly aren't the best, but I don't hurt anybody while doing it. And I've learned as I go along, this is life. If you don't learn, then I can understand. But there's been so many things in my life that I have learned from that have helped me adult to be the person I am today. And I like we say, we're all learning. Every single one of us. None of us know everything. None of us are perfect. If I'm saying the wrong thing, whatever, that's how I feel. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. That's up to you. If I insult you, you take it whoever this fits to. I'm not talking to anyone specific. I just want y'all to know who I am. I went transparent mode. I hit that button. And you know what? I know now why I hit the button more than anything. I was having a conversation with my son about what he wanted to do in the future before it got that far. I was like, what do you want to do? Because you're 10 in about a few years, you're going to have to start figuring out what to do. He said, I want to be a YouTuber, like with an attitude. I said, really? You want to be a YouTuber? That's why you stay up gaming all night in the middle of the night? He's like, yeah, I want to be the best of the best. I said, okay. Well, let me tell you what it's like to be the best of the best and always have the camera in front of you while you're acting a fool. Do you want to know what that's like? And he was like, I'm not acting a fool. I'm not. And he just like challenged me.
Whether it's a clean and modern sectional or a rustic.
Like I said, I commend you.
So,
And you're human. You know,
so
you're
he knows.
human. Don't,
What I'm
don't
saying is,
let.
as the conversation is progressing between him and I, because we're having honestly like a progressive conversation into where he's understanding, like he's going into another phase. I said, you know what I have to deal with? Your daddy goes live, you know that, right? And he goes, yeah, I know. I said, do you know what happens when I go live? Everybody judges everything. I said, do you want them to hear you? I said, do you want them to hear you cry? He said, I don't care. I said, really? Like he was in full, if you seen the live, came on full rage mode like that. You would think he was 20 years old trying to fight his 40-year-old dad. Like you would think we were like really drunk on a Saturday night party, and then we just had a seriously, like he was coming at me like a grown man.
Right.
Yeah, he doubled down.
Jules said he doubled down. He should
Yeah,
have.
that was a
Like,
really good
bet.
comment. No, that was a really good comment. He doubled down on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I went live, and he just kept going. And I feel like when I hit the live, it was, okay, well, I'm going to show out now. And he knew, like, I even brought him to the camera when people started saying, because I started calming down, and someone said, you smacked him. I was like, wait, what? I said, Benny, come here. Matter of fact, I just remembered that. Did I smack you, bro? He was like, no. I said, why did you say that? And that's on live with me not moving, not muting, nothing. He said, I was mad at you. That fucked me up. I said, damn, so you're weird. Like, damn, a kid could say anything, just like respectfully, ladies, I'm so sorry to say this. A woman could spitefully say some wicked stuff and the cop would have to believe it. It's just how it is.
Really, really fast, because I want to respond to that, but there's several people that have come in, they're like, what's happening here? What's going on? So let me give a brief synopsis. So today while I was getting ready, I saw a live of Czech. He was disciplining his son, or that his child's mom was disciplining his son. And I thought that the interaction was really well. Now, granted, I only saw 3 to 5 minutes of it. I did a video on it. There was a lot of back and forth, and you guys know me. If you guys follow me, I always tag whoever it is I'm talking about, because I don't talk behind people's back. And so Czech responded. He appreciated my comment. I said that I was going to go live because there was a lot of people disagreeing with my stance on how things went. So anyways, so that's what we're talking about. Czech then decided to join. He came on. He's sharing his side, and everyone's kind of coming up and talking. And it's more so because there was no like physical discipline, but the child basically, long story short, had to sit and read a book and write a story, and it took him hours to do it because he was being completely defiant and didn't want to do it. And people said that they should absolutely call CPS and the child's removed because of that, which to me is absolutely ridiculous, you know? So that's what we're talking about. I've added a few more people. I have to go take a quick restroom break, so I'm gonna mute, but I'm gonna let you guys keep talking. And yes, for everyone who's asking, yes, I will upload this up on my YT as well. I'll be right back.
Okay, 2K, or not 2K, I'm sorry, Chuck.
You're funny. I like it. I already like you. How you
I
doing?
don't watch you. I watch her. I know about you, but I have a 26-year-old and a 21-year-old. Now, when my son was 10 years old, he thought it would be okay, and I was single. I'm a single mom. I now have a fiance, but when he was 5, he thought it would be okay to draw back and smack me. So I said, okay, here, I'm gonna put you in the car. I drove down to the police station, took him in, and I said, I would like you to put my 5-year-old in handcuffs and let him know what it's like to have a laser, and laser I'm meaning a stun gun, pointed at him. They pointed at his feet and said, "Would you like me to pull it?" And he said, "Oh, no, 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 no." From that day on, my 5-year-old still remembers that. And every day that he would say something, I said, "Okay, we can get in the car, we can go down to the police station." He said, "No, thanks." When he wanted to argue back or talk back to me, I said, "Why don't you go to look in the mirror and talk back to yourself?"
You're hilarious. If that's real, I don't even know how the hell that's even cool. How the cops even did that.
Because where I'm from Kansas, okay?
Right.
Here in Kansas, Salina, Kansas, I've even had a judge tell me all I have to do is provide food, clothes, and a bed. I don't gotta provide anything else for that child. The schools, my son had defiant disorder.
Wait,
So
sorry, I just came in. I'm reading the comments. Wait, so I missed it. So he has ODD. So
yes,
and you threatened him with the police?
yep. I took him to the police station, and the cop put my 5-year-old in handcuffs and put a stun gun to his feet, not to him, to his feet, and showed him
Okay, well, first of all, let's be
what it
cautious
was
on what
like
we
to be under arrest and everything like that. Yes,
Hold on. You need to be very cautious on what we're saying because again, this could definitely get my thing. So we're gonna stop that communication because the words that you're saying can absolutely get my account banned. I have a
Hey, I
lot
love
of.
TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop is
I
amazing.
love the TikTok shop. The TikTok shop is my favorite.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'm gonna leave that at that. Now I will say that I'm just gonna leave that there because again, just the words that you're saying could absolutely get my account struck, and I
understand that.
I just got my
Okay.
other one back to my main
But
one back today.
even schools here where I'm from, you can go in and sit with your student in the classroom when they act up. The police will actually come. I've had, SRS or SRS Child Protective. My mom and dad was foster parents.
Okay.
So in law here where I'm from,
Okay.
discipline is different. My son was okay with having spankings.
Okay.
To where
so, Natasha,
I would have him pick up trash.
Natasha, sorry. Sorry. I have to stop what you're saying because again, you're jeopardizing my platform. I grasp what you're saying, but that's way off topic of what we're talking
To
about.
get back on topic and fix this is do this. If anybody can just do this, I'm gonna help you. If anybody can just do this and reload right now and send her a heart me, send everybody a rose on the panel. You can open up your comments. Everybody start commenting your favorite emoji as well. Let's just get her algorithm back boosting.
And again, you guys never have somebody guess, but if you guys just tap the screen, send the heart me, so we just have to be very cautious. And this is why I always get nervous letting people up because people who don't have a platform don't know those trigger words. And I literally just got my main platform back 20 minutes ago, so I don't want to. That was a lot. Plus, I do want to finish up. We have some people on panel that haven't had a chance to talk, and then thank you guys. And then I'm gonna finish up because I got some court cases tomorrow, so I do need to be rested. So who came up first, Rita or Granny?
I think it was me.
Okay, Rita. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm a little nervous because I've never been on live before, but
Don't be
um,
nervous.
so I'm an only parent to two kids. My son is 17 and a half, and my daughter is 16 and a half. Their dad died when they were younger, so I think my son was almost 8. So I kind of have a little bit of a perspective on that side of it. But so everybody's saying how like you making your kids sit down, read a book. I didn't see the live or whatever is a warrant to call CPS. But let me tell you, when my son was in kindergarten and we started him early, we probably should have waited maturity wise. He was not ready. But we were in and out of the principal's office every single day. And he has ADHD, but it's not enough to be medicated, but it was just a maturity thing, you know? And so spanking him, any kind of punishment like that did not work. He didn't care. He just laughed. He thought it was funny. But the trial and error that you have to go through to find the incentive for your kids
Yeah.
that will work punishment wise. And I will tell you, with my son, take his Xbox away, it's the end of the world. My daughter, I could take her toys, Xbox, everything away. She loves to be on her own, loves anything like that. But the minute I take, a sleepover away, hanging out with friends, whatever, that's the end of the world. I can count the number of times that I've had to physically discipline my kids on my hand.
Yeah, it's
For
because
both of
it's
them.
like I said, it's always about finding what works for each individual child. Discipline can be different for every single child, but it's about finding what works for them, and that's the best thing to do, you know.
My son, I think there was one time he called me out of my name, and I took his Xbox away for a month. Tell you what, never had a problem again.
That'll do it.
And the amount of times as an only parent that I have lost my patience, and I'm a babysitter. I've been a babysitter for about 20 years now, so I have tons of experience with kids. So the fact that you could keep your calm check and keep your cool, that props to you, because there's not many people that can do that. And advice for anybody: if you're going to discipline your kids and you feel like you're losing your patience, take a 5-minute break, put your kids somewhere safe, and then come back and regroup.
Yep. Great advice. I agree.
I myself with that, like if you remember, like I don't know who was watching, but Amanda put him in the room and he tried to just go to sleep on it, and I'm like, I had to even think about it because I was learning from the discipline process. I don't know if anybody saw that, but I said to myself, "Oh hell no! He thinks he can just miss school, stay up all night, miss school, disrespect his mom, disrespect me, and just go to sleep? Must be nice. Hell no!" So everyone's like, "Yo, just let him go to sleep." Now you're being nah, hell no. So I got up and I said, "Come here, let's talk." And it got worse and worse and worse until I finally got him to really realize. Because if you realize, I was trying to get him to read anything to get his mind off of anything. What really got to him was me telling him, "Hey, bro," I got offline and I said, "Hey, bro, do you realize how much you're impacting your heart right now?" I said, "Do you feel your heart?" And I put his hand on his heart. But it took me like letting him get all him out. He had to express himself. And he was already drawing. He had found himself. Like he had already found all these different mechanisms around it, because I wanted him to read. And instead of reading and writing, he ended up drawing. And you know what? It actually calmed me down too, because I was like, "Man, that's what I do." Like when I'm upset and people are messing with me online and stuff, like I end up just drawing my little paintings on here and trying to make people happy, and like I'm just having fun with my crowd. So I get what he's doing. He's just emulating certain tactics and certain things. So it kind of humbled me too. And like I don't know, bro. Like I ain't trying to like be weird, but it was kind of cool. Like not the whole. It was learning. It was, I don't know. I'm getting emotional, but.
You did a good job. So we have one more person, Granny, and then we'll finish up Yeah, Brandy, what you got?
Hi, guys. I've been dying to talk to you. I just wanted to tell you, check that I watch you all the time. There's a lot of things you do that I don't agree upon. There's a lot of things that you do that I, enjoy watching, like anybody else. But I wanted to tell you how proud I am of you. I don't even know you, but the way you handled that was wonderful. I'm an educator. I've been educating for 27 years now. And you did, like, you kept your composure to watch him. It was very obvious, at least to me, that behavior, not that he doesn't act like that, of course kids will act out. All kids do. There is not a kid in the world that's not going to act out. That is so normal. There is like, if he didn't act out or try you at some time in his life around this age, like, I would say, hey, like, that's odd, right? He's the average kid. They do this. They do it at different ages. I got a 9-year-old that swears she's I don't have a 9-year-old. I'm sorry. A 9-year-old granddaughter that swears she's 17. So what I'm just saying is that it's going to happen. And everybody that's coming at you and putting you down, try to take it with a grain of salt. Them telling you they're going to call CPS, they won't do nothing. Your kid is not in danger. You're not hurting your kid. So they're just doing it just to start trouble, just to say something. Because if you did the right thing, which I don't know what the right thing is, but if you did the right thing in somebody's eyes, you did the wrong thing in somebody else's eyes, it doesn't matter. You can't win. The only way you're going to win is keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Just keep doing it. Don't give up. Don't give up on your kid. Because let me tell you, there are so many parents out there that do not give a crap about their kids. We beg parents to come in and sit with their kids. We beg parents to come in and have a parent meeting. We cannot get these parents in here. Yeah. And it's when you said, something about the teacher, and this is how you think your teachers are. Okay, no, it's not what we signed up for, but this is what we deal with. And when we have, and we know there's supportive parents out there, that's all we need. Like, even though he's acting up and we know you're supportive, that makes our job so much easier. I don't expect all my kids, they're all going to act up at times, right? But it matters with that parent, because that makes my job a lot easier. Once that parent, we know the parents are behind us, because then we can work as a team, work with the teacher. That was my other thing I wanted to suggest that you do. Work with the teacher. It will really work once your son sees that you guys are together on things, you and the teacher, you guys are going to work together. It's really gonna make a difference in his behavior. And also another thing, real quick, is kids hate it when their parents show up to school with them. Ooh, do they hate that? Yeah. And believe me, my husband did that to my daughter. Let me tell you, none of my kids thought it was gonna happen. He showed up and he went, and we never had that behavior again. That's just another little idea. So I just wanted to put that out there at you. I think you're doing great.
I'm so glad that you did. I'm really glad that you did. Yeah, because I've noticed today Chuck's been getting a lot of King Me Too in my comment section because I'm a social worker, or a person people think, and that I supported him, and so how amazing now to have many people, but a teacher and then a social worker, to support the behavior that, what we witness and we saw, and we deal with defiant kids, on a regular basis. So you did a good job.
Yeah, we have to do something. We can't let the kid get away with it.
Right.
If we do, they will continue and it will get worse. Yeah. A discipline has to come involved. And you are choosing to not put your hands on your kid, which is perfectly recommended, right? That's great. Now there's got to be some kind of discipline. And you did it. And then I know what he did. He did that all for the internet. That was very obvious. That screaming at the top of his lungs, and that pounding, yeah. It was obvious he did it for the internet too. So you're doing fine. Just try not to let the internet get to you, because these people, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what you do. If you did right in one person's eyes, I'm telling you, the next person says they're calling CPS on you,
Absolutely.
You know what you're doing.
100%.
Okay, thank you for letting me share that with him. I appreciate it.
Anytime, love. You have a good day.
So Angie, that was a refreshing. I it's very rare not to because I know there's somebody that didn't cam up or somebody just didn't want to say it, but I feel like there's somebody out there that doesn't feel the same way or has something against it, and it's like those are the people I want to invite because I want to hear their opinion. But so far, everyone's been like like very receptive and understanding, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't have that support. That like everyone knows I don't have support at all when it comes to like most people. I do. I have like maybe like a handful. I have like a good 10 people that really want to see me succeed. But like others don't really care, or they see me as some kind of negative clout chaser. Like, yes, I've made poor decisions. I get it, but it's really refreshing to be here during a situation like that and hear you ladies like speak. Like, I don't know, it's humbling. And I'm gonna say thank you.
I'm sure it'll come, right? There's gonna be negative people, but I also think that when we talked about how the child was yelling and banging on the table and screaming, and then said those terrible words, "You're not my dad," and you didn't react. I think that may have won some people over, because I know a lot of men in that situation, because that's emotional. That hurts to the core. Those words were said to hurt you. And a lot of men, I tell you right now, would have jumped and be like, "Oh, I'm not your dad. Oh, I'll show you not your dad. I'll show you. I'm going to take this because this, I got you this, and I got you this. I'm going to show you." Right? Because they would have reacted off of emotion. And you didn't. And I know that it hurt you. Thank you guys so much. I know that it hurt you. But you reacted in the right way. And then you guys ended the entire situation together, bonding, whether there was words said or not, but coloring. And that's a blessing. And so, you and I have been honest with each other. We don't see eye to eye on everything. Thank you, Dan Safon. What the hell is that? Oh. Again, I'm always going to give praise where praise is due. And I feel like you did a great job. And, maybe this is our way somehow of mending us so we can have many more conversations in the future like this. And I'm always here to help, give advice if you want it, if you ask for it. Again, I would highly recommend, and this is the last thing I want to say before we head off, because I just thought of it, especially when Granny was talking, right? He stayed up late and he didn't want to go to school, right? Because he was tired. They want to take a nap, and then the whole fighting thing came from the kid at school. I would really question him a lot to make sure, is something happening at school to where he's not wanting to go? Is there any type of bully type situation happening? Is there something going on at school? I would dig deep on that as well, but definitely still have his mom talk to the school and find out what's going on with that one kid.
Can I say something really quick?
Of course.
Check.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, please don't give up on your son, okay? I'm going to tell you, I'm not saying right now, I'm saying like when he turns 16 and 17 and he's saying those hurtful words, I mean, he's crushing you and your heart is shattered. Like, you're going to be hurt like you've never. Being hurt from a woman is different than being hurt from a child. Let me tell you, it's different. Like, having a child and having a grandchild are two different things. This is going to be really tough, but stick through it. At the end, it's going to be so worth it. So many parents give up. I can't handle this kid. He just wants to say this. He does whatever he wants. I don't care. I hear it all the time because the kids are constantly just pushing the parents down, and they're giving up now. And he is going to say hurtful words. He's going to tell you how much he hates you and how, again, he's going to use that anything he can. I can't make excuses for them. My kids did it. We've got the best relationship now. They go through their trials and tribulations. Just stick with them. I know you can do it. I could tell just by today. I just wanted to tell you that so many people want to give up on their kids because they are being pushed down so hard by their child. He's going to try you. Just stick to it. Don't let him think he's going to win.
You got this, and you got a backup system. So
thank you.
We're all here for you if you need us. All right, you two. Well, did you have something you want to say, Chuck?
I appreciate you. Like, I'm just kind of speechless from this whole thing because things don't end up positively ever when I'm around, type thing. So it's just kind of refreshing to talk to all you ladies and just receive what you have to say and understand where I flawed and understand where honestly like I have support, and it's just I don't know, it's kinda cool, I guess.
We'll get used to it, right? It's what you put out, is what comes back. Again, had your reaction been totally different, my video would have been, thank you, love. My video would have been different. This conversation would have been different. So thank you. So all of this is coming because of how you reacted, right? You did good. And again, I will, just with anybody I do a video on, if I do a negative video on someone and I see something positive, I don't care my feelings about them, because it's not about a personal thing. This is about me praising you for what it was that you did, because my goal is always that it's going to help somebody else in this situation. This is a common situation. A lot of people go through this, and this is a learning platform. I will post it on my YT as well, so people can watch it, but I'm hoping others can learn from it, and you did a great job. So we'll just kind of keep on moving. If you guys ever have any advice, questions, whatever, you know how to reach me.
Thank you for the space. I'll be
You're
back.
welcome.
I'll be back.
All right,
Bye.
have a good night. Bye. All right, guys. Well, this was a oh, wait a minute. What the hell happened? Wait a minute. What's happening? What happened to the comments? No, wait, did I do something? Did I push something wrong? Well, I don't know what happened. Well, anyway, so I guess that's my cue to, to go. Oh, there they are. Wait, what the hell happened? How'd that happen? Comments from, how'd they get off? They were off. I didn't turn anything off. If I did, I don't know how to do that. Well, thank you for turning them on. I have no idea what happened. Erica, you are a liar. You're correct. Oh, a mod turned them off. Thank you. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't even notice that they were off. Erica, for someone who doesn't like me, you sure come in here an awful lot. Yeah, there's one of the mods turned them off. Okay. Yeah, who's a liar now? Huh? Who's a liar now? Erica, who's a liar now? Anyways. It actually was, it was very nice. And you guys, this is not something that, yeah, I don't even worry about the trolls. They obviously love it over here because they keep coming every single day. They want to be a part of the sock fam so bad, but no grippy granny socks for you. Everyone doesn't know how open to conversation this platform is. You do now. Absolutely. This, whether I get along with someone or don't get along with someone, when I see something that's positive and I feel like it's a learning, could be a great learning opportunity for somebody else, I'm always going to do my best to put it out there. And I think that that's a blessing. Sock gang up in this thing. I know, you guys, my main account is back today. Can you believe it? Oh, you guys, what the hell? You guys almost have me at 150,000 likes. And what are all these buttons up here? League 2, or D2, we went up to League D2. You guys are absolutely amazing. It was a great live. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I know what I went to check earlier with his son. His son was being defiant and was acting out. And again, I only saw 3 to 5 minutes of the live. I was getting ready for work. And there's a few times when I heard his son really act out, I was like, oh, hell no. Absolutely not. And I was very shocked by Check's response. He was calm, cool, collected, but direct. And it was amazing, and that's why I had to do the video. And then to find out about him saying those words coming from a child, there's almost no worse words to hear besides, well, you're not my dad, especially since Chuck's been there with him since he was an infant. From my understanding, that's the only one that he knows is his dad. So the child said that to get a response, and he didn't respond. Right? The response was he had to read a book, right? Whatever the case may be. I thought it was beautiful. But what was frustrating is here this man is trying to keep his composure, trying to teach his kid a lesson, and everybody in the thing, not everybody, but a lot of people in the thing comment, oh, call CPS, you better call CPS. And I've even had people in my comments say, I can't believe you would support him forcing his child to sit at the table for hours writing or reading. Well, I do support that, one. And two, it wouldn't take the child hours if the child did as they were told, right? Again, I'm old, Gen X. We didn't have those options. We would sit there for days if need be. You know what I'm saying? Kids should respect their parents. They should do what it is that they're told to do when they're told to do it. Speaking of kids, mine just popped in. Hi, Tay. Oh, hold on. Let me see something real fast. Let me see if she'll join really fast. You don't have to come on camera, Tay. But I want to ask you a question. Right, always give credit where credit is due, and that's the thing. And people know that Chuck and I had an issue in the past. I love.
What's up?
You guys, this is my daughter, my youngest daughter, biological daughter. We were just doing a whole thing with parenting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I'm your mother. In case you didn't know, I'm your mom. Okay, how do I want to say this? When you would get in trouble, when you were like, okay, let me ask this way. Would you have been able to look at me and be like, I don't care, I'm not going to school, don't touch me, you get away from me right now? What would have happened?
Hell no.
Right?
Yeah,
and now
no.
when Jamal would do it, what would happen? When Jamal would come at me sideways and he would be talking all crazy, what would I always do when you guys would get mad?
You would laugh
And why would I laugh?
because you were so angry.
I was so angry. That was my way of shutting down. And the kids, they're like, how are you letting him do this? That was when I believe it was, I can't remember which one said, it's okay to take a break. I had to take a break because he had got me to the point to where I was so mad that had I addressed him right then, I would have hurt him. And that's not what I wanted. And neither one of us were going to learn from said situation. Now, Tasia, let me ask you another question.
Mm-hmm.
If your discipline was to write a paper, right? I tell you, you did whatever, so you have to write me a 3-page paper. How long would you have sat there to write that paper?
I don't know. I was an angel child. I didn't have to do none of that.
If it was Jamal, how long would Jamal have had to sit there to write that paper?
Until he was finished. However
Right.
long that took him.
Right. So if he got it done in 30 minutes, he could get up. If he was fighting and pussyfooting around, poor Jamal, I know, and it took him 6 hours, would I have made him sit there for the 6 hours?
Yeah.
Right. It all depends, you guys, on the child. So, beating somebody up in comments because how dare he force his child to sit there and do what he's told to do? Well, the child wouldn't have to sit there for hours. If he would have just done what he was supposed to do. My kids weren't beat, abused, nothing, but they were required. It wasn't an ask. They were required to be respectful. And to this day, I have 4 adult children who are very respectful, who don't get in trouble. I have 6 grandchildren, and they parent just like me with their kids. Are you going to let Ava come and talk to you? That she stayed up all night on her iPad that her grandma got her. She stayed up all night and she's not going to go to school. When you tell her get up, she's like, "Get out of my room! I'm not going to school. Don't you tell me."
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Heck no.
It's not flying around here. So, and again, that's not abuse. In reality, I feel like not correcting that behavior, not parenting that, is abuse. Because now all you're doing is raising the badass, eventually adult, or a teen, which is even scarier. You have a teen that eventually is going to be much bigger than you, that has no respect for you.
Right,
It's
and
gonna
also it's always good to correct even the small things, like even little things that Ava may do that aren't like a huge deal. It could become a big deal when she gets older, and that's why you need to correct it when they're young.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Not correcting bad behavior is like, I agree so much. See, that's why you guys are the sock crew. I love it. Oh, you found me over here. I just realized I was on my backup account.
Yeah.
Because, I got banned for 7 days for being schmexually explicit.
What?
You want to see what I did? I'll show you. This sucks.
Yeah, them toes is something. I'd ban your ass too.
I have socks on, woman. It was the socks. No, literally, that was it. I did that, and then I got a violation that said I was being smexually explicit. And I was like, that's got to be a joke. And then, of course, I appealed it. They denied, and then you can appeal going through someone else. And I'm like, I'm sure this is. I know for a fact this is wrong because I literally just lifted my leg, showed my sock. I was wearing pants. I was like, dang, was I wearing like a muumuu or shorts or something?
What the hell is a muumuu?
A muumuu, my little night muumuus.
Oh, your granny gowns.
Right here. Here's my muumuu for tonight. And let me see. Oh, and so then I was joking with them. I said, "Oh my God, what if they're like, that's a safety violation. We can't pay L&I. Keep your old ass legs on the ground." This is my movie for tonight.
Oh my
it's not
God.
the weekend. And so sure enough, I kid you not, Tay, I get a next violation. They're like, your violation stands for safety.
What?
Yeah, so I was off my main page for 7 days for a safety violation.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got 2 fragments. D1, we're in the top 100% of D1 or something like that. I always try to act like I know what I'm talking
I was
about.
just about to say that doesn't even make no sense.
Well, I don't know. That's what it said. Let's see. Oh no, I'm in the very last place. but I was in, shut up, Tay. I was in D2, so I went to D1, which means I beat D2 or something, and now I'm in D1. Well, anyways, it doesn't matter. It's good.
Right.
Randy laughing at me because you laughing at me. Listen, right, we're in last place, but that's okay. Bottom of the top 100 in D1. And let's see, did I get a picture? I tried to take a picture because yesterday, of course I don't have it. Yesterday I was in the top, or not me, they were in the top 100% for gifting. 100%. That means they were the number one, and of the pages equal to mine, they were the number 100th percentile.
Dang.
So, I know. My team is freaking amazing. I've been sick in bed. Sorry about. Oh no, love. Katie, you're like the 3rd or 4th one that's been super sick this past week. Get better. Lots of rest. I will upload this onto YT. Oh, 222 in the chat. Quick question, because these are long. Should I break them up into like 2, like a part 1 and part 2, to make it a little bit easier? Because I would see 3 hours of me and be like, what the hell? That's a lot.
Same.
Shut up. Nobody asked you. No, keep it. Okay, I can do that. So, well, thank you so much for coming up, Tay. I do appreciate it because that's what we just had Check the Star up and a bunch of people we were talking about it because Check handled himself very well. Oh, this is the other situation. So, Ava was acting a fool, which, mind you, my granddaughter would never. Now we see. She says, hold on. Now we see why Jamal is the favorite, Tay.
No, Jamal's way worse. Jamal is not the favorite.
Jamal's special, right?
If anything, I'm the favorite.
All right, calm down, Tiger.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to be real here.
So Ava's acting a fool, right? And being completely disrespectful to Brock, and then says, I don't care because you're not my dad anyways.
And where the fuck is your daddy? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I have a comeback.
I know. Yeah, we aren't even gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Respectfully, that would take. It would take. If I'm correct, a natural response would be like, "Oh, I'll show you. Let me take all this. This is what I bought you. This, but your daddy ain't bought you this." Right? But Check didn't do that. He stayed calm, cool, collected. And so I felt that he did really, really, really good in that situation because a lot of men would not do good in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard situation to be in.
Absolutely. Yeah, and his son is 10. Angie, I was saying Check's son said that because he knows Check will still be there. Absolutely. And he didn't intentionally to hurt him. But again, it was his response because I have seen that happen. I've seen the outcome of that happening. And that's actually one thing that I walk my clients through, getting that reaction and how the best way to respond is. Because it is hurtful, especially when biologically that child's not there, but you love it as if they're their own. And then for them to say that it's
how old is
beyond.
His child?
10. Yeah. And so I did a video today, saying that I felt that he did a good job. Of course, a lot of people came at me not understanding why I'm supporting him. He's one that has a lot of, he doesn't have a lot of positive people that support him on this page. Actually, the first time him and I ever talked, within about a minute and a half, he called me a bitch. And so I chewed him out and kicked him off my platform. But you know me, if I see something positive, I'm going to talk about it too. And so I wanted to praise him on the things that he did. And the comments were very much, I don't think it really was on what he did with his child. I think it was who he was. That's kind of what I think. So nonetheless, it has been a great live. And even he was a little stunned. He's like, I'm used to just getting a whole bunch of hate. So I'm shocked at the fact that I'm shocked that I'm getting a lot of positivity here. So yeah. I didn't know. Yeah, you guys, there was a lot that came out that we didn't see in the video. Who is Check? Check, I think he kind of like really blew up on. Well, I found out about him with the whole Lieutenant Dan thing, right? He was the one that was kind of helping Lieutenant Dan around. And then he was friends with Aaron Carter back in the day. A lot of people say some negative stuff about that. I won't say that because I have no evidence of that. Again, I will only speak on stuff that I have evidence on. Yeah, he's been a part of, I think, a lot of real sketchy type stuff. And so, and I've talked about it, I've addressed it. But again, when I see something positive, if I talk about the negative, I'm going to talk about the negative. But then if I see something positive, I'm going to talk about the positive. Did my daughter just leave without saying goodbye? I don't care if she's 27. She's in timeout. Tejane, you're in timeout. Grounded. That's it. You're not going to the movies on Friday. He was with the Island Boys. Oh, I didn't know that either. You guys, I really don't follow I know she just boned out. Not a goodbye, love you, absolutely nothing. Ain't that some shit? Oh, here we go. Sorry, Braylon took my... Oh, Lord. Mommy duty. Yeah. She likes to do that. So, anyways, okay. Well, I just wanted you guys to hear from a child that I birthed and raised to know that I raised them the same way. You know, I did the my kids went through the same way, exactly what it is that I'm talking. That's how we went. So I just think it was very important to say that since she was here. I was just getting ready to. They're literally right here. Okay. Oh, right here. I was like, where'd they go? Literally right here. I was just getting ready to show her, and off she goes. But they come on Friday, so they'll get it. So, all right, I've got to take a shower and get to bed. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for getting me to on the backup D1 in a week's time. You guys are amazing. Emily, LOL. When I had to take that class because I took my parents for. Oh, you're talking about the class that Bree's doing. Right, Granny. I agree. That's what I say. It's like people are like, how can you be a social worker but be so stern or hard on your kids or whatever, or tell them that they didn't succeed or, didn't do good? Because I think someone had mentioned one time, they're like, oh, I bet when your kids played sports that they, you always told them they did good or gave. No, I didn't. Matter of fact, the one that was just up here, she was a competitive gymnast. That cost me a lot of money. When she had an off day, she was told she had an off day. What do we need to fix it? Whatever. It wasn't like it was demeaning, but I was honest with them. You're not getting a participation trophy because you showed up. That's the minimum. I paid a lot of money for you to show up and go out and do what it is that they choose to do. It was never forced on them. That each one of them got to pick their sport. But we're setting our kids up to fail if we're not correcting their behavior and letting them know that they're not always the best at everything. Then when they get into the real world and figure out that they're not the best, and then people are hurting their feelings, we're not there to pick it up. So do it while they're young. They have to learn. And my daddy taught me this when I was very little. He used to take me ice skating all the time. I have no idea why. I'm as clumsy as they come. But nonetheless, my daddy took me ice skating. It was either ice skating or Star Wars. May he rest in peace. I hated both of them. But we would go ice skating, and I would do tricks, which was pretty much barely stand up on my feet. And I would do a turn or something, and he would always give me a score, right? Like I was in the Olympics. So it'd be like a 9.75. And one day I did something that was actually really good. I think I got like a 9.8. And I remember being really upset, and my feelings were hurt. And later that day, my dad said, well, what's wrong? Why the sad face, or why the long face? I said, Daddy, I don't understand. He said, what? I said, I did so good today. Like, how come I never get a 10? Like, on the Olympics we watch, and they get a 10 when they do perfect. And I landed that perfect. He said, you did. And I said, so why didn't I get a 10? He says, because no matter how good you do, there's always room for improvement, because nobody is perfect. And that has stuck with me. I'm 51. That has stuck with me since I've been 5 years old. I have carried that in my back pocket. I raised my kids the same way. I would never give them a perfect score, even though with Tay in gymnastics, there was even a few times she did get a 10, and I would still give her like a 9.995 or something, just to let her know, baby, that was amazing. There's always room for improvement, right? Because he just didn't want me, look at you guys with your O's. You guys are trying to get me to cry. I'm not going to do it. Not doing it. But he was so right. And so I have just kept that in my pocket. So we just have a different generation, right? I'm not saying we need to go back to where we're picking our own switches off the tree. I'm not saying that. But our kids can't just be wilding out. and cussing us out and screaming at us and throwing shit at us and talking to us any old way, and there be no, we're just like, okay, whatever you need, here you go, you can have it. No, those people turn into teenagers, turn into adults. That generation eventually is going to be the ones running our country, God forbid, running our companies, all of that stuff. They need to be disciplined and taken care of. And I fully believe we have to praise when praise is due. We also have to be okay with saying, you know what? I have some advice for you. It's hard with parenting. I'd never guess you're 51. Okay, busty. I'm about to be 52 in July. We'll have to have like a TikTok party. So anyways, yes. No, not running a cut. Literally, that's what I'm thinking of. Every time I think about it, I'm like, these next generations, like, these are going to be the people that are going to be our doctors, our nurses, running our nursing homes that we're in. No, wait, July what, Granny? I'm a granny. I also love lashes. I don't have any, but I love them. July what? Oh, yours is the 4th. I'm the 15th. Oh, are you getting ready to go live? Didn't see your cat, Hope. You know what? Hope's a hoe. What's he doing? Is he in here? Oh yeah, he's over there sleeping. Now that it's sunny outside. No way. Twinsy mama, your twins are the 15th? They must be amazing individuals. Now that it's so nice and sunny outside, Hope does not come in a whole lot anymore. Hope's like, thanks for the nice warm place during the winter, but deuces, I'm going outside. So he comes in for a couple hours. He'll stay, eat. He sleeps in his little cush bed, and then he'll be out for the night, and I'll see him sometime tomorrow around 6 o'clock. He's kind of been coming in like 6, 7 o'clock till about 11. That's about it. So, all right, I'm exhausted. I love y'all. Tomorrow, we will be back on the main page. It'll be interesting. We may end up liking it over here better. If you guys are not following this page, though, please follow. I didn't realize this, but now in order to do the TikTok shop, you have to have 10,000 followers. It was not like that before. So, because eventually I want to take everything off of my main page for TikTok or TikTok shop and move it over here, but I have to have 10,000 followers. So, anyways, all right, guys, suck gang up in this thing. No way, 6 months already. Oh my God, time flies. I tried to request to show you the. Wait, when'd you request? Right now? Oh, hold on. I always got time for a puppy. How do I make you big though? Hold on. Let me figure out how to make you.
Camera. Here, hear me one. Hold on.
Wait, how do I? Wait, I gotta make you big. Hold on. Don't show me yet. Don't show me yet. How do I do it? I remember.
I'm not sure.
Oh wait, was it this?
Where'd it go?
Someone told me one time.
Oh, what are you doing? I'm showing her the puppies.
Settings.
Hi. Good girl.
Oh. No,
Behind
let me
you.
see. Hold on. We're gonna see.
Me
Oh
turn
my
it.
gosh, I cannot remember how it affects. No. Oh wait, hold on. Let me make you big, and I'll make me. Oh wait, hold on. Here, expand. There we go. Oh my. Stop.
No, Mom.
It's okay. Oh my God! Stop it.
Here we have. Let's see.
This is disrespectful. You know I'm gonna want one, and I can't have one.
This one chilling over here. One under here.
Let me see.
Let's see if I can get my. Here. Let's see.
Mom's
Oh,
like,
she's fine.
absolutely not.
Well, that's the thing though, is we need to teach her that like it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like it's just like a process with her.
Yep. A good girl, Mama. That's a good girl, Mama.
I know she's like, don't take you're gonna steal my baby. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
stealing-
okay,
Hold on.
Mama.
Wait, where'd it go? Here we go.
Come here.
They're like a week old. They
Wait,
were
the
born-
camera's off. I can't see.
Oh wait, hold on.
You do not snap at me.
Oh my God! Look at the face. Oh, the little, hello, little sweet baby. Oh my God! Oh, I can't.
They're like 8 to 10.
Oh.
Well, yeah. See, hold on. Let me show you. I'm trying to think of a name for something that is only has one leg.
Peg.
Oh, Peg.
Because he lost a part of his foot while they were out in the wild.
Oh, love bug.
So,
I mean, he can be part of the sock gang,
right?
We'll call him Grippy.
There's some that have little socks. Like this one has little socks on his feet.
Oh my God, you're part of the crew too, boo. Oh my God, and how old are they?
About 8 to 10 days.
Wiggling its butt.
Oh, they're so cute. Mama's like, let me see.
She's like, they think she's like 8 to 9 months old, so she's still a puppy
you're
herself.
So beautiful, Mama.
Yeah, she's like halfway feral, so we're trying to teach her that
Good girl,
people are
Mama.
good.
That's a good girl, Mama.
Captain Sparrow, he is a boy too. Captain Sparrow.
Yes.
Oh, and what kind of dog is Mom?
The vet thinks she's Dutch Shepherd, and then some are their smaller breed because she's on the smaller side. But he's like, because she'll clear her X pen like it's nothing.
You're beautiful, Mama. You're doing such a good job. Look at that one. Oh my God.
2, 4, 6.
I'm pretty, and the dad's Australian Shepherd, so they're like Australian Dutch
Oh
Shepherd.
my God, I knew it. That's my favorite dog. That was my dog, was a Australian Shepherd Brittany mix. Oh my God, stop it. I do not need another dog. I can't handle the heartbreak.
Oh, and just to let you know, the rescue that's backing them will ship them anywhere.
Listen, down to Mom, let's stop it. I cannot. Mama, you're doing a good job, pretty girl. Yes, you are.
And yeah, so she was, because I was in Houston when they were born, so they were probably outside for like 48 hours or so before we found them. And then they've been with us for like a week. So getting her to this point has been like a week. And now they're just like all doing the pile.
Yeah.
Look at the tail. The tail kills me.
Oh my God, they're so cute. Oh, I love them.
And then we're still trying to catch Dad. He got really mad when we took her, but I was like, I gotta take her because we were able. My daughter was able to get the puppies, and we put them in a crate, and she went right in. So I was like, okay. And now he's like, you can go F yourself, and so he's a whole nother. But yes, these are just.
Well, they're so cute. Thank you so much for sharing. Look at the one sideways and kicking around. Oh my God, I love them. I know, Mo. I do, but you guys, my heart has never been the same after I had my baby for 14 years. And then losing her, that pain was, it was too much. Plus, I'm
black with like a white chest.
Be careful.
She has a white chest.
Yeah, I go a lot, you guys, so I really don't have time for a dog. I love to just be able to pick up and go. That's why with my cat, he just jumps in and out the window. He's like chill, but they are beautiful. If I could have one, I would. Maybe when I'm like retired, not doing nothing, not traveling stuff. Then, but right now it's oh my God, they're so cute though. Mama's doing a good job.
Yeah, we've been really good about like coming out. I just like gave her a whole bunch of steak. And you want to lick it? And just like coming out and just like giving her love.
One of your eyelashes is on there.
Probably.
Yeah.
But just like coming out and giving her love, so like it's not just people coming out to take a puppy.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing a good job, Mama.
But yeah, just had to show you.
Well, thank you, love. I so appreciate it. You'll have to keep us updated. Look at that one. Oh my gosh. Good job, Mom. We're not going to take it, mamas. All right. I love you guys so much. Have
me
a
too.
good night. I'll see you guys
Good
tomorrow.
night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.